Welcome to the DGAF1 podcast. My name is Dave,
My name is Chimacha.
and we're two UK-based comedians who share a passion for Formula One and just want to start talking about it with you guys, getting to know your feel, and kind of share our passion for the sport with all of you.
So why is it called DGAF1? Because it's for people who DGAF1. I think that's right, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, if you don't give an F1, absolutely. So I've been watching Formula One since 2014 was the first season that I started watching. A lot of people would say that is a very short time to be watching Formula One, but to be honest, the amount of people that have come into watching the sport since Drive to Survive, I even from 2014, I feel like a veteran. But I started watching in 2014. God, back in 2014, Vettel was still at Red Bull. Mercedes was the first season of Mercedes post Brawn with Lewis.
With Lewis, it was.
With Lewis, yeah. So look, that was it. Yeah, of course, I had the Schumacher days. But yeah, Lewis's first season, and I got into Formula One just because I kind of forced myself into liking it. I'd always seen it on the telly every now and again, never really paid attention. Always knew who Schumacher was. And just started watching it. I started watching the Formula the 2014 season. Obviously followed Lewis because he's British. That's the reason. And he was just winning a lot, which made it really fun to watch. And just followed the seasons from there. So that was my start of getting into Formula One.
I got into F1 really, really, really early. The first thing I ever remember watching Formula One was I remember watching live the 1998 Belgian Grand Prix, where everyone went round the first corner and then immediately crashed into each other. And I think because I was 4, I really enjoyed watching a load of cars crash into each other. But it obviously took me a little while to get into it because I was 4. But by the 2000s, I was already really into it. I remember the Schumacher dominance days. I was never really a Schumacher fan. Now, even though I am Brazilian, I was also never, weirdly, a fan of Barrichello or Massa. The driver that I always followed was Raikkonen. So I was quite disappointed when he retired. But it does mean that I haven't really picked who to follow since, but because I've been watching it for so long, I'm just a fan of the sport. So it's just fun for me to watch what's going on. There's certain things I would love to watch happen, like in the near future. I'd love to watch like Norris finally win a race, those sorts of things. But yeah, I've been watching Formula One longer than some of the drivers have been alive.
But are you a driver follower or a team follower?
I would say closer to being a team follower. I think when Kimi was around, I was following Kimi, but now I want to watch ideally, I would want to watch the success of McLaren over any specific individual driver.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a driver follower. Following Lewis Hamilton, the main reason was because he was British. But now, the last few seasons we've kind of been spoiled for choice, having Hamilton, Russell, and Norris. And I've always kind of said that once Hamilton retires, I'd become a Norris fan. Not only is he British, but he drives for McLaren, a British team. And you can argue to the hills, all of you, about how so many Formula One teams are based in Britain and therefore are arguably British. But McLaren is really the only true British F1 team. Founded by a keep, but we'll forgive them for that. So Norris will be my next fan, but yeah, who knows? I'll be following him and want to see him win a race. Still gutted over Russia. He got so close. To be fair, I mean, looking back at that race, he didn't pit because he just wanted to get across the line, and I can remember screaming at the TV, thinking, "Don't pit, just gun it, mate, and you'll win." And both Lando and I were wrong in that case.
It was an astonishing thing to watch. Practically the entire rest of the field pit and then overtake him in a lap.
Well, not just that, but the fact that Nikita has a spin was the one that first put the intermediates on. You know, I mean, that was, and then started unlapping himself, and everyone's going, something's not right here. But
It was the one case of a home field advantage.
yes, yeah, exactly. Because apparently he remembered looking at the clouds on his way home from school and could spot a rain cloud. It's like, mate, we live in Britain. I think we know how to spot a fucking rain cloud. But apparently the one Brit that it mattered to in the moment wasn't looking up. So there you go. And in George's helmet, it's always raining, as we know.
So yeah, that's us. That's DGAF1.
And we hope you enjoy our future podcasts.